Rain plastered her hair to her skin, dark rivulets of mascara carving desperate. Jagged trails down her cheeks. Each sob fractured her voice, raw and trembling, her breath ragged and broken. She stood outside the apartment, a fragile silhouette beneath the relentless, weeping sky. Her words splintered and frantic. "It's just pretend," she gasped, every breath jagged, every sentence crumbling midair. I looked at her, my expression unreadable, eyes fixed and unyielding like polished stone. "All right," I said, my voice cold and hollow. Then I closed the door. The soft click of the lock echoed louder than her desperate pleas, slicing through her cries like a whispering blade. Just 3 days earlier, I had been in the kitchen, the cold tiles prickling my bare feet, holding a warm mug of coffee. She leaned casually against the counter, too casual for what she was about to say. "What if we acted like we broke up?" she suggested lightly, as if proposing a weekend getaway. "Just for a few days," she said, framing it as growth, a harmless experiment to see how it felt. She dressed it up like something innocent, a small test, but it was a ticking time bomb waiting to explode. I didn't protest. I didn't argue. I simply nodded and said, "If that's what you need." Those would be the last sincere words I ever gave her. We had spent 7 years building a life together, carefully stitching it piece by piece. Sunday mornings filled with soft jazz, the kitchen always fragrant with the smell of pancakes sizzling on the griddle, our toothbrushes standing side by side, her cold feet always searching for warmth beneath the sheets. I trusted her more than the stars, more than the sunrise, and countless quiet nights she whispered, "Promise me you'll never leave." I promised every time, and I meant it, but now I understand what betrayal really looks like. It doesn't crash in with fury. It creeps in wrapped in comfort, kisses your forehead, and cuts you where you least expect it. By the 3rd day of her so-called experiment, I hadn't reached out, not a single message. I let the silence settle around me like ash drifting in the air. Then I saw it, her Instagram story. It hit me like a punch to the chest. There she was, beaming as if she just discovered freedom, nestled in the arms of a stranger, his sculpted frame, arrogant smile, and hand resting possessively on her hip. Like he owned her, like the years I spent loving her never mattered. The caption read simply, "Moving on, no explanation, no hint of guilt, as if I'd never existed." I didn't throw my phone. I didn't scream. I didn't fall apart. Instead, I picked up a pen and made a list, changed the locks, call an attorney, pack every last reminder of her out of my life. I wasn't emotional. I was deliberate. She wanted separation. I would show her what real distance meant. She wanted to feel alive. I would make sure she remembered the cost of playing with devotion. Over the next 2 days, I transformed. Precise, focused, calm. I folded her clothes. Each blouse, every pair of jeans, stacking them neatly into boxes. Her perfume, her sandals, that ridiculous glass lamp she adored. I packed them all away with the patience of craftsmen. I placed the boxes by the front door, reset the Wi-Fi password, transferred our joint account to a new one under my name, leaving just enough money for her, call it petty, but not destitute. I notified the landlord, had her removed from the lease, and revoked her access to the smart lock. No drama, just quiet, calculated steps, one after another. She wanted to play? I was ready to deliver the final score. The next morning, she showed up, drenched by rain, confusion flickering in her eyes, awkward laughter spilling like it was all some sitcom misunderstanding. Then she saw the boxes, the glowing red light of a new lock. She pounded on the door louder than her voice, begging, "Open up, babe. Don't be like this." I cracked the door open just enough to block her way. She tried to step inside, but I didn't move. Her eyes darted to the packed boxes. "What is this?" she asked, voice trembling. I held up the key she had left behind days ago. She stared at it like it belonged to someone else, someone she used to know. "This isn't funny," she whispered, voice cracking. "That post meant nothing. He's just a friend. It was part of the test, to see how you'd react." I smiled, not out of amusement, but because for the first time I saw her clearly. She thought we were still playing her game. She hadn't realized I'd changed the rules. "You said we should pretend we were finished." I said evenly, "So I did." You wanted to feel something. Now you do. You gave yourself to someone else. I gave you nothing." Her lips trembled. "I didn't want to hurt you," she whispered. "I didn't mean it." I cut her off, not because I was cruel, but because every move I made had meaning. She crumpled to the doormat, hands over her face, sobbing openly. "I messed up," she cried. "I thought you'd chase me." I crouched beside her, voice quiet but firm. "I did chase you," I said. "For years. I fought for us, for you. But you were too busy testing my silence to see the war I was waging for our love." I stood up, letting her sobs echo through the hallway. Neighbors peeked from behind curtains. I didn't care. She'd earned their attention. I didn't yell. I didn't curse. My calmness cut deeper than any rage ever could. She begged, swore it was a mistake, promised she'd fix it. Maybe it was a mistake, but not mine. This wasn't revenge. It was reclamation of my peace, my dignity, my strength. I let her go. I didn't ask her to stay. I didn't destroy her life. I simply stepped out of it. For weeks, she sent long, regret-soaked messages filled with memories and desperation. I never blocked her. I wanted her to know I read every word and felt absolutely nothing. That was the real punishment. Not anger, not vengeance, just indifference. Now, I stretch out across the whole bed. Jazz still plays on Sunday mornings. I flip pancakes just for me. I dance alone in the kitchen, and it feels lighter than it ever did before. Sometimes, the kindest thing you can do for someone who doubts your loyalty is to pass their test and let them live with the cost of failing you.